Welcome back to Horrifically Well Read, Bled, and Said. Today, our guest is Robert P. Ottone, the double Stoker Award winning author. Most recently has released the story collection Tear Me Open, Fears Unwrapped. Welcome, Robert.
Hello, how are you?
So good and so excited to talk to you. We had so many people say you have to talk to Robert on here, especially like
Like, it was
Monique.
me. It was me
It
who
was
said
you?
that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but, we're good friends with, like, Monique Asher, who, had you on her pod, which was an amazing
And
thing, and
Alyssa.
Alyssa and
And then
everything,
we got to
so
see you at Spooktastic
yep.
recently.
So you're a very popular person, just know that.
Well,
You
that's
just don't
nice.
know how good of a friend you are to us yet.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I
I gotta tell you,
appreciate
I'm
that.
kind of like a little irritated with you on social media because
oh,
I've been wanting to repost your things and I can't.
I
Like whatever
know,
settings you have set up, and I'm like, okay, I can leave a comment, but like, what if I want to like highlight you and put you on the story or what?
I
Did you
know.
have like a poor experience or something that we can't promote you?
Public school teacher.
Smart. Got it. Thank you. I'm not mad at you at all.
I guess
I
I should do that.
understand why you're doing that. Good point.
I had a
Okay, great.
situation
Well,
where I had kids find me a few years ago on Instagram and start following me and stuff. And they weren't doing anything bad. They were just like, "Oh, it's so cool. You write spooky stuff." And I was like, "Yeah." But then I realized I was like, it might not always be a tool for good in this case. So not long after they started, because they all graduated from high school and they started following me, and I was like, I'm gonna lock it all down. So I locked it down, and the only time I ever unlock it is for when I do my monthly talking talkies thing where I talk about movies with
okay.
people. Yeah.
Well, Robert, I am so proud of you for social media, how you have everything locked down.
Thank you. And somehow, like, I still have fun on Instagram. I don't know,
Yeah.
You
that's
did it.
like the only one, it's like the only one that's still like sort of fun, even though I know it's owned by an evil alien man.
I
Um,
know.
that
Yeah. I was in a store the other day and I was like, saw all this Snoopy stuff and I was like, Robert,
mm,
you live in my head now rent free for Snoopy.
I love Charlie Brown like more than anything. I love Charles Schultz in general. I think he's a person that we don't really celebrate enough. We
Mhm.
should not, he had the guts to say when he introduced Franklin, the newspapers pushed back because they didn't want a black child in the funnies. And Charles
Hmm.
Schultz was like, "Oh, you don't, huh? Okay, cool. Then I guess you don't want Peanuts then." And was basically
That's
like, "I'm
huge.
not going to do Peanuts. You won't get my comic strip if you don't accept the fact that I'm adding a child representing a segment of America that's going
Yeah.
underrepresented." You know?
Pioneering, like,
Yeah. And we need more like
willing to take the pushback. That's so huge, and I love his work around codependency.
that. Very much so. Very much so.
Yeah.
I think. I
Like,
think.
why do you keep falling for trying to kick the football?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I love that, but, it's crazy to me how just a black comic can be so we don't wanna see it, and I know, like, I said that about that there's a documentary on that Ms. Magazine, but, like, Shirley Chisholm, that they were like they wanted to put her on the cover of Ms. Magazine, they're like, "Well, this isn't gonna sell in the South," and it's like, "This is the '70s?"
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
"Really?"
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, it's just so disappointing.
It's disappointing that we still have things like that. Things like that
Right.
Yeah.
still happen. It's insane. We're in 2025 for God's sakes. Like there should be we're all in it together.
Mhm.
Like I don't know. I get annoyed thinking about stuff like that because it's not and I guess it's part of the reason why I write so broadly where I have like a lot of representation in my stuff because I write the world that I'd like to see,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
I don't my upbringing was largely white. Where I grew up, we didn't have a lot of diversity. When I got to high school, there was more diversity, which was awesome. And I just remember, like, I didn't have a ton of friends growing up who were from other backgrounds and different, religious upbringings and stuff like that. So, by the time I got to high school, and I had, a couple friends who were Muslim, and I had, friends who were, Indian and whatnot, like just a nice tapestry there, and Korean friends and Chinese friends and stuff. It was like, oh, cool. Like now I'm getting the vibe of what I wish I had had when I was younger, you know?
Exactly. Yes.
But,
I
I
finally
like
have a boss again that's like worked at the JCC almost 20 years ago and
mhm.
then didn't have a whole lot of diversity for quite some time. And now my boss is Jewish again and was off today for Yom Kippur. And I'm just like, this is great. I love having some, things that I can be culturally like aware of and support. And that feels good again.
Yeah. I remember learning about Diwali, and I remember learning about
Yes.
Lunar New Year, and
Mhm.
I taught when I was still on Long Island. I taught in a large Asian population, and it was an amazing celebration of Lunar New Year, and all the families came in, and they hosted this incredible catered lunch, and the parents served the teachers, and
Wow.
yeah, it was really remarkable, and they hosted all these fun games where we all won red envelopes that were packed filled with money, which was like, we're getting gifts and tips from these wonderful families to celebrate Lunar New Year. It was remarkable. Learning all about Lunar New Year was amazing, and learning about Chinese culture and Korean culture, just really amazing. It opens your eyes in a big way, and learning about China specifically and, everything that's going on over there. And,
Mm.
you know, it really opened my eyes because I didn't know exactly what to think. I just knew
Yeah.
that, like, the China was a communist region, but the people there, certainly are not.
Yeah, we definitely you
Yeah.
don't realize there's such propaganda
Yeah.
here, towards, a country like that and realizing, when you actually speak and, are around actual human beings, that all of that kind of just falls away and you realize they're people and
Well,
it's
yeah.
interesting.
When we went on to, or I did anyway, when the whole like TikTok, everybody went over to the other app.
Mhm.
It was just that was this moment of holy shit, I've been really propaganda like at this
Yeah.
political machine because I was like, they're driving around and I'm like, this looks like it's Orlando,
Yeah,
like
it's just
just
like a
natural
suburban, yeah.
Florida. Huh. Um, and it was just like the amount of like learning all the different foods and the way they were so willing to teach the language. And I read note, but yeah,
Yeah.
I just really was like, okay, I need more exposure because we're all getting worked over. Even though you don't think you are, you think
Yeah,
you're. That's
even
why I really like to read so many different
mhm.
books, though, and different writers, especially the books that are in translation, because
Mm.
you get a lot of, and you know,
It's weird because social media feels like the world should be getting, smaller and more connected and that kinds of things, but I feel like, especially in the last decade or so that we've become more and more isolated and within our like own
it's
little
called an
beliefs.
algorithm.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
obviously. Yeah.
seriously though, because it feeds you more of what. So it's like you can really stay tight in those pockets of what you're comfortable in.
Mhm.
So I mean, but it's out there if you want to search it and you want to find it,
Yeah.
but you have to have that initial spark, which is
Mhm.
really hard to break out of that.
Yeah. I try to look at things through the lens of like the people actually in the situation, as opposed to looking at it from a purely like, I'm a white male from New York. Like, I fully understand my privilege. I'm very lucky to have been born in the state that I'm in.
Mhm.
I'm you know the group that has been oppressing others for so long. Not that I feel like I have done that, but I know that my my
Right.
my
Oh yeah. And I'm
my
there too.
people have
Yeah,
certainly
definitely.
done that.
Yep.
So
Yep. I'm part of
I
that too
totally
for
get
sure.
it.
Yeah.
I feel like you work really hard to go against being a white cis male, like, to break any stereotypes and to be aware of your privilege and,
Yeah, that's really the first step, right? To be aware of it and,
you
understand
love when
where
I
you see
boss
it
you
in work.
around.
Yeah,
You see me
absolutely.
as an equal.
So but yeah, let's
No,
go.
I'm listen, it was a joke.
Yeah.
You know what it is? Like, there's I don't know. Every once in a while, some schmuck pops up, in the horror world and
Yeah.
says something that's really racist or says something
Mhm.
really awful. And sometimes it's somebody you really like looked at as sort of a luminary in the community. And obviously that person is wrong. But, you know, there are so many seats at the table for everybody, for
Yes.
all perspectives and all
Right.
Yes.
experiences. Like seeing,
That should be the goal.
yeah, like seeing Pedro Iniguez win this past year in
Mhm.
Connecticut was awesome. Seeing Sophia Ajram win this past year in
Mhm.
Connecticut was amazing.
Yep.
Seeing Sina Paleo in Pittsburgh win,
Mhm.
Tananarive do win, like that's what this is all about. Stephen Graham Jones, like that's the vibe. That's what we should all be pushing for.
Yeah.
As far
I
as
mean, I
I'm,
try to, even
yeah,
in the space of like celebrating the authors and everything and trying to keep it diverse on here, but like I always try to share all the other podcasts and promote them because really want to be like inclusive of the work because you're not going to necessarily, we're not going to have everybody on and they're not either. But,
Mhm.
it's like everybody can have a seat at the table to uplift all the authors and
Yeah.
everything that's happening in the book community.
yeah. And that stuff's important because the next wave of people need to see themselves, the next wave of authors, the next wave of creatives, whatever, need to see themselves represented in the people that are doing the work now, you
Mm.
know? So that's that's the vibe that I think we all should have going forward. And I know some people don't feel that way, and those people can fix their hearts or die. But
Yeah.
you know, that's life. You know what I mean? Like we need to be
Yeah.
inclusive and we need to have as many seats at the table for everybody.
Well, that's interesting because it reminds me, at Spooktastic, Tanya Pell was on the Pink
Hmm.
Horror panel, and they were talking about like where is horror going to be, in 10 years, in 20 years? Like, what is the future of horror? And she said, look to YA and look to middle grade and see what they're writing about and what kind of stories are there because those are the people that are going to be, the readers are going to be growing up and wanting that in their adult fiction, but then also, a lot of times the authors do the same thing. And I, look at someone like you that does pretty much all of those, areas. Are you conscious about that, like as you're writing a middle grade? Like you said, it's the world that you want it to be. Like making sure that, it reflects those things that you're like, okay, these are the things we should aspire to. I want the kids that are younger getting into these things to see a world that is blank or whatever it is that you're, talking about.
I think about my students
Mhm.
reading and like the things that they like, and I want them to see themselves in things more in entertainment. And so I think about that. I think about my niece and nephew, and I think about how much I would want children of all backgrounds, and all representation to see themselves in something. So like I I don't know, I can't remember if I've ever mentioned this story or anything on a podcast or whatever, but like I remember the first time my favorite thing in the world is sitting outside and handing out candy on Halloween. I just love seeing the kids in costume. I love
That's
handing out candy.
awesome.
Like that shit is like what I live for all year. I live for RuPaul's Drag Race and I live for Halloween. So,
Yeah.
like, those are my favorite things. And so,
Love it.
like, like getting to see the first time I saw a kid dressed as Miles Morales, Spider-Man on Halloween, I was like, that's why. That's why we need more of that.
Yes.
Like a little boy should see himself in Miles
Yes.
Morales in the same way that I saw myself in Peter Parker as a kid.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
that's 1000% the vibe. So like when
Yes.
I'm writing something, I like to have as much representation as humanly possible. And I remember a review of one of my books said that it felt forced, and my reaction was, "Fuck you!" Like, look at the world. The world is multicolored, and
Yeah.
that's how it should be.
Yeah. It's like it maybe is only forced to you because you're living such a, one note life.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
always interested, like, what that means by force, like, you made the decision purposefully, it didn't organically flow from what exactly are you talking about being forced? It's
right,
like,
Help me to
they live in a
understand. Yeah,
they live in a
exactly.
town where black people exist, so there's a black person, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
right,
you
right. Which
know
is every town.
Yeah,
It's just,
exactly.
like it was a review of my book, The Sleepy Hollow Gang, which is a middle grade book, and features a African American little boy as the lead, a Latin girl, Asian girl. Like there's a wonderful mix. You know what I mean? Like as it should be. Like I see my own students are multi group friend groups. It's like this is how it should be. This is what real
Yeah.
life is. So to
Right.
have someone say, oh, it feels forced or whatever. I always like to go and like, because I was a reporter. Like I'm really good at doing deep dives into
Mm.
people's backgrounds. Like I could find some shit. I've got private investigator friends. I got cop friends. I got lawyer friends. I got military friends. I could find who you are. It's not hard for me. So like I will often look up and see who this person is and figure out where they are. And it's like, oh, you're in Alabama. Got it.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
shade
there
to
you go.
Alabama.
Yeah.
Well,
Listeners, by the way, don't fuck with Robert Piatone is clearly what
yeah, that's what
we've
I'm
learned.
hearing.
I
I
collect
love
lawyers
that
like
you
Pokemon cards.
I love that you get to hand out candy. Like we live in such a rural area
Hmm.
that I've never gotten the chance to do it.
Mm.
Um, but we have had some unique experiences with hosting the exchange students where the other countries really don't do that. So
Yeah.
to make them pick a costume, they're like, "What?" Like it's such a unique experience like that they're just like, "What do you mean?" And it's like, "No, you can be anything you want. You can do
Mhm.
this and take them out and and it's like it's a lot of fun."
Yeah.
So that part has been interesting and unique. But you kind of take for granted how or just, different pockets of how spooky and fun certain places can get and be. And already the leaves are starting to change a little bit here in Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
Not enough, but and it was like
It was under 50 today
I
for the
was like,
first
it
time.
was
I was
like a
like,
50.
finally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like 53 when I walked outside and I was like, woo,
Yeah.
a little brisk. I like it.
Yeah, it definitely. And it's funny.
Because you got to have those cold vibes in order
Mhm.
for it to really like decorate or you know what I mean? Like when you're,
Really get in the mood for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to quote Kevin McAllister,
Yeah.
how can I celebrate Christmas in Florida where there's palm trees? It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Right.
that's what it feels like, right? You need the New England, upper East Coast feel, I
Mhm.
think is the quintessential Halloween feel.
Yeah, and I was reading, some of the things, obviously the Sleepy Hollow Gang, and then the story in Tear Me Open, which I, read before the Sleepy Hollow Gang, and I was like, this is great. And then I was like, oh man, there's more. That's good. Because I really love that story in Tear Me Open. And just kind of reading a few other things that you said about your love for like the town of Sleepy
It's
Hollow.
the best.
And, Rebecca's been twice and I went once as well. And like
I love it.
nothing, like it felt so wonderful there. Like I was just wondering like what your where that started.
Oh, so my father's side of the family is actually from Tarrytown.
Nice.
Okay.
So there's actually buildings with our family name still on them, some historic
My
buildings.
God.
This is kind of a crazy story. My great grandfather was in World War One, and he was a machine gunner, and he got mustard gassed, and they thought he was dead because they just rolled him into a pile of bodies in a
Oh
ditch.
my God.
And they saw him twitch, and they were like, "Oh, that guy's not dead." So they pulled him out, and then he comes back to America after the war, goes back to Tarrytown, and he becomes one of the first NYPD motorcycle cops.
What?
And he becomes super fucking crooked.
I did not see that coming.
That is a twist.
He starts taking money from like Capone and other Canadian organizations to sneak whiskey into the country during Prohibition, coming up the Hudson River and stuff like that.
Do we want to say crooked or do we say like opportunistic,
Crooked more
entrepreneurial?
crooked sounds
Yeah.
better. Opportunistic is good though. So he starts buying a property and stuff like that and whatever. And then he has a couple kids, and my grandfather goes to Long Island, and that's sort of where my story begins because my dad and my mom and me, blah blah blah. So then, ever since I was like 3, 2, my dad and my mom, sometimes just me and my dad, would go to Sleepy Hollow all the time, every year, at least every year, and we would go to Sunnyside, which is Washington Irving's estate, right along the Hudson
Yes.
River.
Yes, I've been there.
My all-time favorite house in the country is easily my favorite American home, Sunnyside. my home office is very loosely inspired by his
Hmm.
office, where I'm actually sitting right now recording this. And I just was like, I fell so hard in love with the Legend of Sleepy Hollow and the writings of Washington Irving. And I'm very much a Sleepy Hollow purist. Like that story, I think that is the finest American ghost story. You know, I recognize that there are elements from the Wild Hunt, like England's, the United Kingdom's history of the Wild Hunt and the folklore of the Wild Hunter and the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. But everything about the Legend of Sleepy Hollow is just dripping with eerie and spooky,
Yeah.
and that whole area is just supercharged in the way that Salem is supercharged. The only negative is seeing Sleepy Hollow become Instagrammable and
Yeah.
seeing it,
Interesting.
like,
Well,
yeah.
probably because your experience with that. Now, interestingly enough, we just were in Salem.
Hmm.
We went after Spooktastic, like the
Mhm.
day after,
Hmm.
and I completely had a great time. Like,
Oh, it's great.
great. It did not in any capacity have the feeling that Boogie had. I think there's just a completely different feel about the air.
Hmm.
I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's because it is just like they're very different to me, I guess what I'm saying, but maybe I don't know. The cemetery is one of I think my most favorite places maybe to
In the
visit in
world,
the
yeah.
world. It's just stunning and everything is just gorgeous there. And I love that. I've taken the tour twice and then like you said the estate for it's just I feel like it's just got this hum, that this feeling, and maybe it's the way people support it. I don't know because it doesn't feel. There's a few tourist things here and a few things there, but a lot of it's like, like I went to the Rockefeller Mansion and
Hmm.
stuff like that. But we ended up going to like the Blaze Pumpkin event, like
It's great.
which was fantastic that I did that twice. If you've never been, you should absolutely go. It's worth the drive, and anybody. But I love being just like even down at the bottom of the bridge where they're like, yeah, this is the water that they're saying that like the horse can't cross. And they have a really nice gift shop there at the Sunnyside.
Yeah. I buy something every time. I'm a sucker.
Yeah. I bought us like a shirt and a mug, and I think both of those have been destroyed. Yeah, so we got to go back. But the point is it's awesome. If you want to take like the best graveyard photos, that's the one to go
Oh, yeah.
to.
The first ghost I ever saw was at Sunnyside.
Really?
I saw a ghost cat at Sunnyside.
Hey,
Yeah, very strange. I think it was supposed to be, because I had seen a photo, or not a photo, a painting later on of Washington Irving's niece with a cat in her lap, and that was the cat that I had seen earlier.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's just, there's magic in the air. I know, like, we're supposed to be like, this thing, the only scary thing in the world is people, man. Like, and like grown, like, give me a more lame approach to life. There has to be
Yeah.
magic, like,
it just feels like it there. I don't know what it is. Like, I know that when we went to Salem, it felt really nice. And Adam, you kept saying, like, I could come back here and visit. And I really liked it. And there's nothing, I just think that the feeling that I was expecting to have in Salem, I found in Sleepy Hollow.
and
Well, I
it's,
think, like,
oh,
yeah,
I'm sorry,
the
go
I mean,
ahead,
history
that's
Ryan.
of
just me. That's just my personal
yeah.
experience.
Well, I think that, the idea of what Salem is obviously inaccurate, like, because there were no witches there, that's like, you know what I mean? So it's like, whereas like Sleepy Hollow, I feel like, okay, this really, like, this is Washington Irving's home, all this kind of stuff. It's like, I don't know, it is a different feel. Like Salem is more like a place where a historical atrocity occurred than it is like this is a spooky place to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, it's just not, and also there's a big difference between, Salem is just a few, like the touristy, like, predominantly profit generating elements of Salem are
Right.
all within a few blocks, whereas,
That's what it was. And I love that part. I was wearing my Salem
It's
sweatshirt.
yeah, it's all, I love Salem too. We went to Salem 2 years ago during when I was on a book tour for my book, The Vile Thing We Created, and we did Copper Dog Books, which is my
yeah.
favorite my favorite American bookstore. Um,
Yeah, we
and
were just there, weren't we?
yeah, and they did the books for
I got my stuff.
Spooktastic. They were the bookstore for Spooktastic too.
Wait, is this the one that's in
It's in
S
Massachusetts. Yeah.
No, that wasn't the one that we went to in Salem?
No.
It's not
My
far
bad.
though. It's not far from Salem. That's for
Got it.
sure. It's
Sorry.
in, Beverly.
Right.
But yeah, I love that store. So, like,
Nice.
we went there, we did the Salem thing. I got a psychic reading. It was all good. It was all fun. But again, it's like you can go to Salem and do the entire everything they have to offer in like 3 hours,
Mhm.
Mhm.
which is
Yeah.
not a bad thing at all. That's actually
No.
awesome. Sleepy
No.
Hollow, everything is so spread out. It's like if you
It
want to go to the
is.
Pumpkin Blaze, that's like a little further away than Washington Irving Sunnyside, which is further away from the theater. And it's a whole thing. The theater's really beautiful, by
Mhm.
the way. If you ever go back, I can't remember the name of the theater, but it's like the main performing arts theater in Sleepy Hollow.
I'm going back for sure.
Yeah, it's
Do
great.
you is it do you continue to call it the Tappan Zee Bridge even though it's now like the Mario Cuomo Bridge?
Yeah, 100%. I'm it's always going to be the Tappan Zee
I
Bridge.
just love the name of the Tappan Zee. Like,
Yeah, the
it
Native
just it's a
Americans, the
spin for
Tappan.
me.
Yeah. I mean, it's all part of it, like that was always the thing. And it actually is a very visually beautiful bridge.
Oh my
And
gosh, yes.
it has that fishbone design that was
Mhm.
developed by that Australian engineer that a lot of bridges use now, which is cool. But it's always going to be the Tappan Zee. I'll never call it the Mario Cuomo Bridge. I'm not a huge Cuomo fan to begin
Yeah.
with. So, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of bootlickers, but there you go.
But yeah, I love that you took a passion and an experience that you had and, were able to just funnel that into some of your works.
Yeah, and it matters, and that's what I would like to see future people doing. Like I've like to, I get to read some of my students' writing, when they
Mhm.
do something creative, and they always call upon their own experiences to shape whatever it is they're writing, and I always get a kick out of that. So I'm like, that's what we all kind of do. I think Paul Tremblay had a good quote. He was like, after he finishes a book, he has to refill the bucket in order to pour more of himself into the next one.
Yes.
And I think that's what we all do, and I think that's what we all strive to do. I'm very lucky in that, like, I had a great childhood. I had a great upbringing with 2 parents who loved me and supported me in everything that I wanted to do or try or whatever. So when it comes to writing for kids and writing young adult, middle grade, stuff like that, I could do that forever because I've got nothing but positive experiences to call upon that I could somehow make spooky. And I've got a lot of stories from that time that I could easily twist and make into something that I think kids would want to read or kids would think is funny or scary or whatever. Sleepy Hollow Gang is very much like my love letter to my childhood. And it's also a love letter to the Monster Squad, a movie that I saw with my dad and a movie that I love. But it's also very much a love letter, obviously, to Sleepy Hollow and the legend of the Headless Horseman, who I think is the greatest literary monster ever.
Love it. It's so haunting, and creepy and perfect.
I think that image is just you hear Headless Horseman and you're immediately, like,
Yeah.
brought there, yeah,
Yeah.
and I love that you were just like, "You know what? I need more Headless Horsemen, I'm gonna write a book about it," like, and I love that.
It's like when, Christopher Walken says, "I need more cowbell." Robert said, "I need more Headless Horseman."
Yeah,
I could
we
let
all agree.
I would love nothing more than to write more about the Headless Horseman, like getting to write the novelette or novella or whatever for Tear Me Open. I wanted to I was like, okay, cool. Like now I'm gonna have these kids fight the Cobb Man, who's like
Yes.
one of the weirdest monsters I've ever created.
Uh-huh.
And like, okay, cool, but you know what? The horseman's obviously gonna come back because
Yes.
obviously. So, that was just a lot of fun. And also like the idea of the original concept of the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, it's like, yes, it's very much connected to Halloween and everything, but it's also, we have that tradition of telling ghost stories at Christmas time.
Right.
And this was, the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, in my mind, is works also very well as a story for the holidays too, because it
Mhm.
falls in line with that Victorian notion of like, or rather
Mm.
post-revolution notion of telling stories at Christmas time. But, ghost
Yeah.
stories at Christmas time, like I wish is something we still did.
Yeah, just that darkness that, all that, obviously A Christmas Carol, is a ghost story and all of those, stories definitely lend to that time of year when it's just dark for so long and so cold and you're inside and all those things is great. I love also in like that novelette that, it is, I don't know, it's like it's like middle grade and YA, kind of like that right in between almost
Hmm.
kind of thing. And I love that it really does not hold back on, gore or horror, or like, the fact that something really bad is happening. And I'm always interested, when I talk to a middle grade or YA author, where do you, when you're writing it and you're saying, okay, I know that this is for a certain group. And for you, it's probably maybe easier because you know that group so well because you're with them all the time.
Hmm.
When are you like, this is not enough, this is too much, this is just right?
Yeah. So in middle grade, I try, that's a good question. So, there's a lot of violence in media and content that children consume every day, right?
Hmm.
Like, my students are watching they're on YouTube watching police raid videos from back in their home countries,
Right.
and it's that stuff's terrifying. And they're watching, any number of anime that is incessantly violent. Not that I'm judging because I liked all that stuff too growing up. Um
Mhm.
well, and they're playing, Call of Duty, and they're playing all this stuff, and I play all that stuff too. So I'm not judging. But like at a certain point, there's nothing like I would never do sexual violence in a middle grade book, and nor would
Right.
I do anything that is over the top, like sexual assault type stuff in a YA
Mhm.
book, even though there are plenty of YA books who do that. And there's plenty of YA books specifically that do some really gnarly sex scenes. That's not something that I personally would ever be interested in doing or writing.
Yeah.
I remember reading Looking for Alaska, and there's an oral sex scene in there, and it is the most uncomfortable thing that I've read in a YA book. Not saying that that book is bad. Like I love Looking for Alaska, but when that part happens, I just remember being like, Jesus Christ, like
Yeah.
kids, this is for kids. This is
Yeah.
not my cup of tea. But yeah, so I think that's kind of like where I would draw the line. Like in middle grade, the fact that in Tear Me Open, there is a particularly nasty death in that one, especially in that short novelette or whatever. And people have mentioned that to me, like that, pretty nasty. And I'm like, yeah, but if there's only going to be one real nasty death, then let's go all out with one, and then the rest can be kind of tame. You know,
Mhm.
Curse of the Cob Man is a book that's for adults, so that is filled with like let the bodies hit the floor like
Yeah.
crazy. Also, something I would like readers to know when you read blood in my stuff, just know that there's a little bit of glitter in all the blood.
Love it.
That's great.
Now listen,
It's
did you know that Quentin Tarantino has like a special like blood consistency and color that is designed just for him?
mm,
That's cool.
So for you, it would have glitter in it.
I love that. That also reminds me when you said it's like the one, like, extremely, like, gnarly death scene, I think of, like, how PG-13 movies are allowed one non-sexual fuck
Yeah.
that
Right.
they are allowed to say, and I'm like, "Okay, that's your one non-sexual fuck that you're allowed in your middle grade, and then the rest of it, you can say shit and bitch, and you can say whatever you want, but just that one fuck." So,
Think
I
of
love that.
there's the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, right? Like there's one really nasty horrifying
Decapitation,
death.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about, right? When the guy gets when the I think it's a woman gets like bit in
Yeah.
half or something.
Her
That's
head gets eaten off, right? Yep.
yeah. And
Yeah.
that's a pretty horrific thing to happen in a PG-13 horror movie, right? Like
One that
I
is, PG-13, but also that it's going to be the, 9 to 12 that are really the audience.
yeah, and think of the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark movie, which is I think a movie
God,
we don't talk about that movie enough, by the way.
no.
That movie has some imagery in it that's straight out of a nightmare. Obviously, it's from the books, which is great, but like that shit comes out of your worst possible nightmares, and they have no problem show. We're talking spiders coming out of a girl's face and her hair. The the waterlogged woman in the hallway. Like
Yeah.
it's just nightmare stuff. And it's
Yeah,
so
I
much
think
work.
that, like, the image traumatizes so much. To see it move was so much more disturbing than I ever expected.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. So if I can deliver something like that, at least in one, once in every tale that I tell for kids, like I'm good. In Nocturnal Creatures, right? A good example in that one, and it's actually a death that my mom like kind of wagged her finger at me for when she read it. There's there's a part where a dog gets ripped in half by one of the Bigfoot creatures, and it
Well,
and it
I
it
mean, yeah.
it does like an arc of blood in the air kind of thing, and that's probably the most brutal, death in that particular book, or the most brutal thing that I think happens in that book. And again, that's a middle grade book. But that's another one I really love. Nocturnal Creatures is a lot of fun. It's a fun book.
Yeah, yeah, our daughter bought that at Spooktastic and had you sign it, so we'll be reading that one soon together, so I'm
Thank
Mm,
you.
excited to warn her. I'm like, "Hey, there's something in here that pissed off his mom," so
My mom still will say to me, even though like I have a villainous character blatantly based on her in one of my other books,
my god.
he still gets upset about the dog in Nocturnal Creatures. And I'm like, not all the dogs. That doesn't happen to all of them. It happens to one of them. What are we talking
Well,
about?
it's funny when you say that, like, for another podcast, I read a Fear Street book, Missing.
Mm,
Yeah, it was missing, and, there's a scene where he gets trapped in a pit with a dog, and they have a fight to the death, and it's very graphic, and I was like,
yeah.
"Wait, did this just happen, what he just said?" Because he basically snaps the dog's neck,
Hmm.
and, I'm just like, sitting there like, "Wait, R.L. Stine, what are you doing here?" So, he killed a lot of animals, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not, if you're writing middle grade, right, and you don't want to have just like a complete unadulterated bloodbath,
Mhm.
and of like human characters, something has to die. Something, to show that the threat is real.
Right.
There's a middle grade thing that I've got cooking on the back burner that I've outlined and stuff like that, and gonna have that's gonna have some darkness in it. And I have a YA thing that's probably like the darkest YA thing that I've ever come up with. And that's got doesn't have much death in it, but it's got a lot of darkness in it. So I'm like, okay, I can get like spectacular with like one or two over the top,
Yeah.
Suspiria level deaths. And then
Yes.
the rest I gotta, give them the scream level death.
I love that you
Yep,
said Suspiria.
gotcha.
So it's got jazz music in the background?
Of course. It's got I can tell you this. I haven't said this anywhere, but the YA thing is because I make a soundtrack for everything that I write. The soundtrack for that is very like Euro pop music.
Nice. Man, that juxtaposition of, like, just the most cheerful, happy mixed with, horrible things happening, I always love that.
Yeah, that's I never am like I don't know. I'm always kind of when people are always like posting like the music that they're listening to, and it's like I'm listening to Nine Inch Nails or I'm listening to Ghost, and it's like it's so boring. Like that shit is so boring to me. Like and it's cool. Like Nine Inch Nails, fine, okay, great, but like I when I write something, I always think of like the trailer and the song that I would use in the trailer for it. And
Mhm.
it's never like nothing that I write, if it's ever turned into a movie, I promise will ever have a Nine Inch Nails song in the trailer. That's not the vibe that my writing trends towards. I don't
Yeah.
know. Not my vibe.
I remember many, many years ago, I was writing a zombie story and the entire like horrific like action sequence, my whole head, it was completely scored to Get Out of My Dreams and Into My Car by Billy Ocean. Like that
Awesome.
was just 100% what was being played the entire
I
time.
love this
And
for
I was
you.
like, yeah, I was like, because it just is. It's just what's
It
there. It
just
just
is.
and then so I really appreciate because there's a time and a place for those other things. It's like we put some typo negative on and stuff like that, but Is that really what you're, rocking to, and
No,
enjoying your life to? No.
no.
That's definitely like the person that, is wearing that shirt and going to that. It's like, come on, get over yourself a little bit.
I went to a goth bar and restaurant with the writer Abby Vale and her awesome husband. And
Well, we're gonna have her on soon too.
Abby Vale rules.
Yeah,
Her
I've been
novella.
like listening to her music like nonstop.
Yeah, you played it for me last night.
Oh, she's great. They're both great. Grant, I
Yeah,
believe, is her husband's name, and they're very cool. But we went to this goth bar, and it was like the music was like, imagine you remember the movie The Crow? It was like that, and it was so loud. I've never felt older. Everything was delicious. My cocktail was fabulous. I had Goth Girl bathwater, and it was great. Had an awesome time. Abby's cool. Her husband's cool. But my God, was the music loud and oppressive, and it was like, oh wow, I'm expecting Blade to walk in any moment.
Yeah.
we went into a store in Salem and like I was like, "Is this actually the Queen of the Damned soundtrack right now?" They're like, "Yep."
The
I was like,
vampire store?
"Yeah."
Okay,
With
first of all,
with
it's like the best store
It
because
was a great store. However, I was like, "Wow, that can you be like more like on the nose?"
Well, my Salem store, and I think I went into a very similar store. It might have been the same one. I went into two stores in Salem, and both stores I went into, I bought Michael Myers stuff. I bought nothing witchy.
That's
I
so
bought
funny.
a rug for my room, like a throw rug that's in my office here. It's the Halloween thing. And I bought the most amazing orange tank top with Michael Myers on it. And it's like my favorite tank top that I have. I never wear it because I'm
Awesome.
deathly afraid I'll spill something on it. So, but yeah, those are my favorite things I bought in Salem.
If you ever meet Nick Castle, that's what you'll have him sign, right?
I have met Nick Castle. Back before Halloween 2018 came out, my dad and I went to Chiller Theater in New Jersey, and they had like a mini Halloween reunion. Like Nick Castle was there, Tommy Lee Wallace was there, Charles Cyphers was there, uh, Marion Chambers was there, and who else was there? I can't remember. Someone else was there. And I got them all to sign this really cool print that I have that's like the streets of Haddonfield in 1978. So they all signed it. And my dad took a picture with Nick Castle and was like super excited to meet him. And Nick Castle could not have been cooler and could not have been nicer. And not super long after my dad passed away, and so it was like, "Oh, this was awesome. We got to go to Chiller Theater, and you got to meet Nick Castle, and you
Yeah,
got to see Halloween 2018." So it made
so
me happy.
special. That's awesome. Love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and I love
it's
that
great.
picture.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that. When we were in Salem, we passed by this store and it had all this cool stuff. And then it had this, giant butcher knife that was Halloween themed, but it was Halloween Kills. And I'm just like, what makes that knife specifically Halloween Kills?
Yeah,
Like,
seriously. I
and
wonder.
it's, yeah, I was like, it's so funny that it's specific to that. It's funny too, like Nick Castle, because like I was a, huge horror movie fan still growing up, but then I was also a huge Major Payne fan.
Nice.
And the fact that he went on after being Michael Myers to direct Major Payne is one of the like
I love that
the
movie.
weirdest
Yeah,
things. Like that's Hollywood right there.
and he wrote Hook.
Yeah, and last I do really love the like non-ironically love The Last Starfighter too. So
There's no irony there. Like you shouldn't.
no, that I
I'm not a believer in the I like the so good it's bad
yeah,
or guilty pleasures. Like if you take pleasure
yes,
in it, then you shouldn't feel guilt about it. You know.
I love that.
And if someone else makes you feel guilt about it, they're not a person that you should talk to or associate with. Like, you should never feel bad for the things that you love, you know?
Yeah,
And I'm a bit like I tell my students that and I believe in that fully. And like there's a lot of stuff that I'm just like, I don't want to do that. Like I'm not interested in that. Like I'm not gonna dress up silly for a book event, I'm not gonna do anything weird, like that's not my vibe, and like I'm not going to
no,
yuck anybody's yum. If that's your thing, that's great, but like nor would I ever be like, you like that movie, that's dumb. Like I'll joke about, you know having better taste than other people, but like who cares? None of it matters. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like your
right,
personal
yeah.
taste is personal taste. Like
Just find
so a
things
good
you like
example,
and enjoy them.
right? A good example is Sleepy Hollow, right? Like a lot of people really love the Tim Burton Sleepy Hollow
Yes.
movie. You know, I do not.
I don't either.
I think I saw you talking with Haley Newland about this.
Yeah,
Yes,
I really, really wanna like it, I just can't.
no,
but I know it also probably just, like, as a purist of Sleepy Hollow, I'm sure you're like, "No."
yeah, I can't help it. Like I think it looks cheap. I know one of my friends told me like, oh yeah, they were going for the Hammer horror aesthetic, and I was
Mhm.
like, well, it looked like shit. So it just doesn't. It does,
It
and
looked like
you know,
shit.
it looks like shit. Like you know, give me Christina Ricci as Katrina Van Tassel all day long. Like I'm
Yeah,
subtly realizing that like she was the first time I was ever like, oh, I like an actress. She's pretty. Like I'm
yeah.
realizing that as now I'm an adult, but the changes to it, making him a cop instead of a school teacher is just stupid.
Mm,
And if people like it, great. A lot of people like a lot of Tim Burton stuff, and that's fabulous. For me, it's like Pee Wee, Batman, Big Fish, and that's a wrap.
yeah.
You know, like
I love that you said
Batman,
Big
Big
Fish. I
Fish,
fucking
yeah.
love that movie.
you know, it's hard to top Pee Wee's Big Adventure. Like Pee Wee's Big
Yeah.
Adventure is a masterpiece, and Batman
Look, I love
1989.
him,
What's that?
okay? I love him, I'm not gonna be ashamed about it.
Pee-wee?
Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah. I still need to watch that documentary. I've heard it's so good.
The one about Pee Wee.
Yeah,
It's fabulous. It's
yeah.
fabulous. I
I
remember.
also speaking of which is, like, completely adjacent, but that has nothing to do with it, but you said documentary and
Mhm.
talking about actors, the new one with John Candy that's coming out.
Oh god, that's gonna probably make me cry
I
like
love
a
John
uh,
Candy.
That's gonna wreck you, and it's also gonna wreck me.
yeah.
You wanna watch it together
I
and,
just
like,
hear
we
stories
can,
about
like, do,
John
like, a watch
Candy.
party and just,
Yeah,
like, type back and forth as
as
we're
we're
sobbing?
sobbing, yeah.
I'm crying. I
Yeah.
just watched the Thank You Very Much documentary about Andy Kaufman,
Yes.
Okay.
and because I'm a huge Andy Kaufman, Tony Clifton, Bob Zamuda guy,
Mhm.
and that one I didn't cry. I cried watching Man on the Moon when I saw it
Yeah.
as a kid in theaters, but it was hard not to feel the emotion, but it was also like it was so much about him trolling everybody and
Yeah.
really and it was just so funny, like, I couldn't stop laughing, so, like, bursting into tears at some point wasn't gonna happen just because I was laughing so much, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And there's, like, certain people that I think transcend the medium that they work in, if that
Mhm.
makes sense, and I think he's one of them. I think, Paul Rubens obviously is one of
Mhm.
them, John Candy too, like, it's just awesome, like, we watched, did you ever see I think it's Wagons East? Did you ever
Mhm.
watch you've seen that, yeah? Uh, and I'm a huge Richard Lewis guy. Like, I love Richard
Yeah.
Lewis
Oh,
all
yeah, I
day
love
long.
yes.
And so my wife had never seen Wagons East, and we watched it, and it's legitimately hysterical, and it's weird to think that it didn't do well when it came out.
No. Was that last or was it Canadian Bacon? What that was
I
'cause
think
what did
Canadian
Wagons East come out posthumously?
Wagons East came out posthumously, but he
Yeah.
filmed Canadian Bacon after Wagons East, which is
Okay.
weird. But that, because that had the I almost said Roger Moore, the Michael Moore. So like it would have made sense for that to come out like no matter what. Whereas Wagons East was
Mhm.
like it kind of like limped out into
Yeah.
theaters.
It was one of those February release kind of movies, yeah.
Yeah, right before the Oscars hit, and it's like whatever's gonna
Mhm.
go to die.
Yeah.
But it's so legitimately funny, and like everybody in that movie, top to bottom, is great. Ellen Green is
Mhm. Yeah.
hysterical and wonderful in it, and it's like, if you only know her from A Little Shop of Horrors,
Mhm.
watch her in Wagons East, it's so good. But yeah, like having both of those geniuses who are gone, obviously John Candy and Richard Lewis, like
Yeah.
it sucks. Like when Richard Lewis died, that hurt a lot. Like I don't get like upset when actors or anybody like that passed away, but like Richard Lewis and David Lynch within like a
Mm.
year or two of each other, that was rough.
Yep.
But, you know. But again, those are guys who transcend the medium in which they're working.
Mhm, mhm. Um, Adam, I feel like there's a lot of movies and things that I haven't seen that you're still offended by. Do you have that with your wife, Robert?
No, because, she like if I tell her like, "Hey, this movie is really wonderful, you should watch it," we will. Like, she's
That's
open
good.
to it.
That's nice.
Yeah, and I'm sure you were the same way, but it's finding time. You know what I mean? It's finding the time.
That's what it is. That's what it is. I'm like, you're pressuring me right now in this
Yeah.
moment. Like,
Just there's so much coming out all the
there's a
time.
time and
So,
place.
Yeah.
yep,
No, it's
definitely.
true. And, like my wife has her comfort movies that she watches a lot. Like one of her comfort movies is Christopher Nolan's Interstellar.
My God,
We were just talking
that's
about that
amazing.
movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, with
We were talking
Bridget.
about,
Weirder the
how
better.
the,
Tsunami scene.
when they realize it's not a mountain, like how that is the scariest scene in a non-horror movie ever for her
Yeah.
is that wave. Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrifying, but that's one of her comfort movies. Like she loves that. If my wife also does a lot of work. She works from home. She's a baker, so she's always cooking and preparing food and whatnot. So she has to have something on in the kitchen in the background, whether it's a podcast or whatever. So like she'll watch that and I'll come home and I'll be like, "So what movies did you watch today while I was, at work or whatever?" And she's like, "I watched Interstellar and I watched Rocky Horror." So it's like always her favorites that she gets to watch. So then like, when we're watching something else, like we watched you remember the movie The Relic?
Yeah, I love that book too.
It's a great book. And I love that movie so much. It's so
I
great.
do. Yeah, Peter Hyams, right? Yeah.
Yes, yes. So we're watching The Relic and Linda Hunt pops up, right?
Yeah,
Who doesn't love Linda
Goonies.
Hunt?
Oh, not Goonies. Sorry. What? Yeah, Linda Hunt's amazing. Sorry.
Yeah. So my wife is like, "Oh, you know what? Like she's always in stuff. She always pops up in things. I want to know more about her." And she's like, "Wow, she won the Academy Award." And I was like, "Yeah, for the Year of Living Dangerously in
Hmm.
1982." And so we found it on Tubi, and I hadn't seen Year of Living Dangerously since college.
Yeah.
And and my wife had never seen it. And of course, like I have this moment, and you two will probably relate to this as well. When you're watching a movie that's just so good, and you're just like, they don't make them like this anymore, and
Yes.
like
God.
like Linda, and a lot of people say like this, her role could not happen today. It would never happen in Hollywood. You would never have a woman who has a form of dwarfism playing an
Hmm.
Asian man. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Right.
that wouldn't happen today. Probably wouldn't fly today, certainly,
Hmm.
which is understandable. But she did, and she won the
And she's
Oscar because she's
incredible.
so
Yeah.
damn good. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's hard in that case. And she's a gay woman winning
Yeah.
the Academy Award for playing a man. Stuff like that is, I think, wonderful. But you just have these moments like where you discover something new, or in my case, like it felt new because I hadn't seen it in like 20 years,
Hmm.
and then you just kind of go down the rabbit hole, like, oh, okay, like that's a Peter Weir movie. Like, have you seen Picnic on Hanging Rock?
God, so
And
good.
yeah, and my wife was like, what? I don't think I've ever seen that. And I'm like, well, it's like Lana Del Rey the movie, so we will be watching that.
Oh my God,
That's
what
a
a
great
great!
pitch.
Oh, that's perfect. I mean that the cover, I think of the Criterion cover, and I'm like, yeah,
Yep,
that is the cover of a Lana Del Rey album for sure.
and that's the one I
Diet Mountain Dew, baby, New York City.
Yeah.
had.
You have a great laugh, by the way. I just want to say
Oh.
that. Like, if I could
Yeah.
bottle a laugh and just like hit my laugh button, it would be what you giggle. I like it.
Thank you.
It's funny when you say The Relic, though. Stan Winston, one of my favorite creature designs for that movie. Like,
Absolutely. My wife was
absolutely
teasing
love
it.
that
She was
monster.
making fun of it a little bit. She was teasing
So
it.
one of the things is when you brought up very lightly that you do your movie conversations, walkies,
Talkie.
talkies.
Yeah,
I'm saying it wrong.
that's all right.
Talking talk. Listen, I've participated and I've commented and I've watched it live. But
Yes.
okay. But I'm really, it made me the one that I was on. I told you that it's fantastic, which is like how many tremendous movies were made in 1995.
Mm.
And I just feel like I'm going to like try to take away maybe a little break from reading and watch some of these again to celebrate as we get towards the end of the year here. Cause it's just like, they were just so plentiful and you guys just kept pumping it out and talking. That was fun. And I'm hoping that Adam can come on and do that with you because obviously you guys are just vibing so hard to movies right now. Like
Yeah. Well,
I'm enjoying listening. I can't contribute jack shit, but I really love listening.
I have him on the list. I have him
On
on
the
my
list.
list. I have him slated for I have 2 options, actually. I know I mentioned one to you, but I have a second option for you that
Mm,
you might get a
let's
kick out of even more.
what is
Okay.
it?
So, I have you in for January, but I have you as like, "Ooh, maybe he might like this more." And I already have the topic for it. So, February,
Okay.
do you know Nicholas Dyack by any chance?
No.
You would love Nicholas Dyack. Nicholas Dyack is like one of our most wonderful, how do you describe him? I guess you would say he's an academic. He writes
Okay.
academic short works and long works and predominantly centered around film, Lovecraft, horror in general. He's wonderful.
Nice.
He and his partner, Michelle Brittany, are like 2 genius unsung heroes that I think should get a lot more love and credit in our community.
Mm.
But I have Nick coming on in February, and we're going to be talking about it's a very specific topic, our top 3 favorite American gialli films.
Oh,
So you have your
okay.
choice, my good man. You can either come
Yeah.
on.
Listen, Robert, Adam needs a new shirt because he just ripped it for how hard his
Yeah.
nipples got.
So yeah, so those, let me know whatever
Oh,
you want to
yeah.
do. I
Yeah,
think
no, I wanna do that for sure.
cool. I'll put you on for February then.
And I get to watch a bunch of movies to think about. Well, it was funny because we were recording last night, but I wanted to it was best shootouts last night, right?
Yes. Yes, it was.
And, like, I was immediately like I had to add like, I was like, "I'm glad we're talking today," because did someone say hard boiled, please?
So, B. Hyland, who's a wonderful writer, you should have her on here as well. She
Yeah.
specifically said, I didn't want to put any John Woo
Oh,
movies on my list. And I
yeah.
said in my head, I was like, okay, going into it, I was like, I am not going to put any like big, crazy, high budget, action movies on my list.
Yeah.
So
No Michael Bay.
no Michael Bay stuff, but she had a lot of good choices. But she did preface before she even did her first choice. She was like, "I purposely did not choose any John Woo, and I purposely did not choose any Tarantino."
Mm,
And I was like, that's a good way to hold it. Hold yourself
yeah.
accountable."
Yeah.
Her list was great. She had Ghost in the Shell on there, which was the big shock for me.
Mm,
But yeah, no, that was a fun one. It was me, B. Highland, Lauren Bolger, and Marcus Hawk, Canadian horror writer.
yeah.
Next month, or actually this month, October, or if this comes out in October, I don't know. But month of October, I will be having a conversation with Sean O'Connor from Macabre Daily and probably my closest friend in the horror writing community, John Collins, who has the absolute best novella of the year out right now. It's called The Leeds Point Horror. It is
Okay.
Okay, can you connect us with him? Because if it's the absolute best and coming from you, then I want to read it and I want to talk to him.
For
it is
sure.
gonna, especially if I can get him to get it to you for like October, it's the perfect autumn read. You're gonna go
Mm,
nuts.
Hmm.
It's insane. It's such a good book. And we will be talking about a little movie. The two of you, you may have heard of it. It's called Halloween, 1978.
is that the one based on the holiday?
It is. It is a very obscure holiday, Celtic in nature.
That's the one Rob Zombie did, right?
Well, of course, the one Rob Zombie did.
My God.
I
Like,
think I've tried to watch that twice, and both times I was like, "I just can't. I'm sorry."
It's not
Just
very
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But his Halloween 2, I do find interesting.
I had a feeling that would be the case. Oh, I don't know why, just seeing things about it that would but yeah. I think Halloween, like, when we talk about comfort movies, I don't know if there's a movie I've watched more times than the first Halloween.
That's a great take. My wife, so like, I always make fun of her for watching Interstellar all the time. Not really. I don't really make fun of her. I just give her light teasing, light ribbing.
Yes.
She'll come home and she'll say, "What movie did you watch today?" Or usually she goes, "Which did you watch today? Halloween or Halloween Ends?" And I'm
I
like, well,
I love
Okay.
it.
Okay, this makes me so are you a Halloween Ends, defender?
no, it's the best one after the original. Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Oh, man,
yeah.
okay, I'm gonna have to have a whole separate podcast talking to you about just that movie because of how much people hate it. And you said, you are that The Wolfman was one of your favorites this year, and that you are contrarian to a lot of things.
Mhm.
I find that really interesting. What about that movie do you like so much?
I like when movies take big swings.
Mhm.
And, I didn't like Halloween Kills at all. I do think Halloween Kills has the best stalking slash chase sequence out of the modern trilogy with, what's her name? Lindsay Wallace running in the
Yeah.
park.
Yes.
I think that sequence is just chef's kiss perfect. I wouldn't,
Mhm.
like, no notes, 10 out of 10. But the rest of that movie is not, in my opinion, is just, it's a filler movie. Like Halloween Kills 100% feels like a filler movie. And
Yeah.
Halloween Ends to me feels like the movie that David Gordon Green pitched to Blumhouse,
Mm.
but they didn't want to make Halloween Ends, so they made him and Kenny Powers come up with
Yeah.
Halloween 2018. Concept that I had always taken away was that if you just completely remove Halloween Kills from the equation, which you very easily can, because literally it is a movie where not a single thing of import happens other than her
No.
daughter getting killed.
Yeah.
Nothing important happens. If you take Halloween 2018 and Halloween Ends, right, and you make it happen on the same night and you fold them together and it's one big story and it maybe meant to be two movies as opposed to three, you have a much better, more cohesive narrative going on. And also, I don't think the podcasters element is something David Gordon Green came up
Wanted.
with for
Yeah.
2018. I feel like that was more of an angle because if you look at Halloween Ends, all they do in that is, well, he's just out there, which is
Yeah.
kind of what was supposed to happen at the end of Halloween 78. Like he's just out
Yeah.
there, you know? So, and actually, I will say this, the thing in Kills, other than that stalking sequence, the stuff that takes place in 1978, the flashback stuff, all of that looks fantastic also.
Yeah.
But the rest of the movie is not very good. I've only
Yeah.
seen it once. It's the only one, that and Halloween Resurrection are the only ones that I do not watch.
Man, I forget Resurrection exists. Trick or
Yeah,
treat, motherfucker.
you are lucky.
Yeah. I went to see that opening night, and I don't know if I've ever seen it again either.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
I
very
mean, it's
good. I
Trick or
think
Treat Motherfucker is pretty much the only thing I remember from the
there's
entire movie, besides what they did in the opening,
there's
you
a
know, scene that was so fucked.
yeah, that was awful. There's one actor in it who played, Lenny Bruce on, The Marvelous Maisel.
Yeah.
I love the Lenny Bruce character.
Oh, the one
Yeah,
that, like, makes the girl say smart things to turn him on or whatever?
correct. That guy is in Halloween Resurrection, and he's not terrible,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's not a good movie. It's not.
Halloween.com or whatever they wanted
Oh
it to be.
god. Murder Dangertainment. That's what it was, Dangertainment.
Yeah.
I think there is a possibility for a good movie with that premise. I don't know that it needs to be a Michael Myers movie.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
always wanted I remember hearing they wanted to do a found footage Friday the 13th movie, and I was like, "Yes.
That's that's interesting.
Yeah, like that, shoot that into my veins. That sounds awesome. I'm in."
Well,
So,
have you heard Regal's having the 31 throwback horror movies, one eight every day?
that's cool. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So today is Candyman, actually, and then the
Are we
original.
going?
Yeah. And then tomorrow is Friday the 13th, part 3 in 3D.
That's
Are we
cool.
going?
Yes, which, I has the greatest opening theme song music, Friday the 13th Part 3. But then also, yeah, to see that in 3D would be amazing,
I'm
especially if they did
looking
not make it look good, like, as it did not at the time.
Yeah, no, that I mean, I love disco, Friday the 13th music, like,
That's what I said, yeah, Disco Jason
You
Boogie is what
did
I
say
always call
that?
it.
I'm looking at
Okay.
the movies
I feel
that
like you two are having this stepbrothers moment. Like, do we just become best friends?
the movies that they're playing are I mean, they're playing a lot of really good stuff, like, yesterday
They're
was
playing some interesting choices for sure.
The Funhouse, starting this off with Toby Hooper's The Funhouse, that's gutsy.
The movie that nearly destroyed his career.
Yeah, and I like that movie, honestly.
It is to think that that was, relatively mainstream movie, it's like, it is weird as shit.
Yeah. Oh my god, you know what they're doing on Halloween? They're showing Halloween 3.
3, yes.
That is a gutsy move, and
I
that is
loved that when I saw
this is
that.
showing me whoever coordinated this, or booked all of this, they're like a real horror person.
Yes.
This is this is like a legit I mean, Rosemary's Baby on the night before
Yep.
Halloween, that's perfect. On Devil's Night, of
Yep.
course.
Mhm.
The
You need to
Ring.
like blue sky them and be like, at Regal, who
I
curated this?
I would have been happier if it was the Japanese Ring, but I understand that's probably not gonna fly.
Sure.
But
The Gore Verbinski one's good. Or
I just
do you not
I
like it?
always I think it was doing exactly what it needed to do
Fair.
for the vast majority of the runtime. I think that, like, stylistically, it just always like, the original Ring, the power like, it's obviously a movie that's set up for one scene, which is when, the professor when she comes out of the TV,
Mhm.
And I don't know why they decided when they made the remake. One, he's gonna have a huge loft that he's in
You're right.
because the intimacy is so important, and then they cut away during the scene to her driving,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, "Why?" The point is that you can't get away. Why are you gonna allow the viewer to breathe for a second when that's what's so good about it is that you don't get to. You're just watching this play out over 3 or 4 minutes or whatever it is. So, I just that always made me so angry, but I think, like, it's a really good looking movie and it's very creepy and like casting I think is perfect. Like everything is it should have worked better than it did for me. I think maybe because I do love the original so much.
We
I think a lot of people didn't see the original before the remake, and I think maybe that's why they liked it as much as they did too.
I
Yeah.
definitely I saw the remake before I saw the original for sure.
Yeah.
I like the original more obviously, but I definitely saw the remake before the original. My wife and I, like every once in a while, like she'll just look up at me or whatever, and she'll go, "You weren't supposed to let her out," like a little boy. The kid is so
Yes.
great. But
I love that.
this is a great list of movies, man. They're killing it. I hope they make a ton of dough. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's like it's under $10, to go, and I think they have like special little food things and stuff during it too. I'd like it just yeah, I was looking at the list and I was like, "There's some good stuff."
Yeah,
I saw your favorite movie, Sleepy Hollow's on there too, that I'm sure you're gonna go to.
of course. I've already bought 13 tickets for me and all my friends to
So you
go,
can sit
and
there and say, "This looks like fucking shit."
it's that gif of Shia LaBeouf
Yes,
watching his own movie, angry.
yes. I do remember, I don't know why, that came out Halloween 1999,
Oh my
and
god, it did.
I I oh, no, Thanksgiving 1999, I'm sorry, Thanksgiving.
Was it
And,
Thanksgiving?
yes, it was Thanksgiving because it came out the same day as Pokemon, the first movie. And I remember having to take my sister to see Pokemon, the first movie, when all I wanted to do was watch Sleepy Hollow, and it made me so angry. And then I saw Sleepy Hollow, and I do really like that movie now, but I remember when I went to see it, I did not like it. And maybe I don't know why, but
Pikachu I remember Pikachu crying, and it brings Ash back to life, and
the Pokemon movie is
yeah,
literally just like 3 episodes spliced together that have nothing to do with each other. It's the weirdest thing.
that's awesome.
I was just sitting there like, "What is happening to me? Am I like, I've never done drugs, but I feel like I have now."
That's awesome.
But yeah,
I think,
Man,
so
for a movie to do that.
yeah, I think, as we're entering spooky season, so my wife's birthday is at the end of August, and literally like the day after we decorated for Halloween. So like,
yes.
Love it.
I have an 8-foot skeleton outside. His name is Toblerone. He's my son. And
Wait, Toblerone? That's
yeah,
amazing.
Toblerone Ottone. Yeah, that's my baby boy. I love him.
Oh my god, that's
He's
amazing.
my sweet angel boy.
My God.
He's been hanging out outside for like a month.
Do you dress him or is he just
No,
straight
he
skeleton?
stays in his bones the whole time. His eyes light up. He looks around confused. He's great. He has no idea what's going on. His ribs light up.
He needs your loving guidance.
He
Yeah.
does. And I give him a hug. I give him a little kiss. I'm like, I love you. Good night, baby.
God.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
If you don't do a reel of you doing this,
Yes.
like, come on.
You won't be able to share it. No, I'm just kidding.
But I respect you.
I'll like the shit out of it though, I'll tell you.
Yeah. It's a great laugh.
It's
God.
we did
I would just like it makes me want to giggle even more when I hear yeah.
Well, the
So
next time we get together, we'll hang out and
Yes.
we'll do a little dinner. What is the next thing you guys are going to that I'll see you at?
Heart Reader Weekend.
Nice. Hell yeah. Sweet. All right, cool.
Yes.
And there's
Are you going? You're going to be there.
yeah, I'm a guest. Hey.
Nice.
Yeah. I listen. I paid attention and read it.
Look, I just, I love Christine. And so, like,
Yeah.
we've been trying to get to one. Finally, we're able to do it.
That's awesome. That makes me so happy because I'll be totally and call me a shill for last year or whatever. I had the best time at Horror Reader Weekend last year. I felt very lucky. I sold a lot of books. That was very nice. But like
Mhm.
Christine and her family put that event on. And, it's her husband, it's her kids. Like it's a very family forward thing. And it's also at some of these other book events, like you're trapped at your table the whole time, or like you're doing a panel, whatever. The best thing about Horror Reader Weekend is they keep like the selling of books to one day.
Mm.
And it's like the Friday, you show up, you have like a mixer, you have a good time, you have a little dinner, you have some drinks, you meet other authors and like other people, and you actually have like legitimate conversations and you get to meet actual people. Like it's not just like I am sitting at my table and I am selling you a book. Like it's not like I hate
Even as like a person going to these events, it's so like whirlwind and like at a lot of them, even the best ones, you never feel like you talk to anyone as long as you want to, or like actually met them aside from things. So
yeah.
that's wonderful. That sounds
It
great.
gets me excited.
You should honestly like you should be excited. It's really great. Like they did a great job and I'm out on the porch smoking cigarettes with Sam Rebeline and Rachel Harrison, and it's like
Yep.
John
Oh, we'll
Langan
join
is
you.
John Langan's beating me up verbally and busting my chops, which he's like the best at. And
Yes.
we just had so much fun. And like Tremblay came and we got to make fun of him. Like it's just everything about it's great. And it's
What Nat and Clay are singing songs, singing "Kumbaya." I heard
yeah.
together.
Let me tell you, they're the things that they've been doing at Twisted
Yeah.
Spine with
Oh
the
yeah.
Ali
I don't think
Malinenko
Nat's coming, but
and
yeah,
the
Clay will be
giant
there. Yeah.
doll
Yeah, that was creepy
Yeah.
as fuck.
I
Yeah.
will
and the devils with Rachel's stuff.
Mhm.
Like it's just always a good time.
I'm gonna be at Twisted Spine on October 23rd with
Ooh.
Greg
You're gonna
Bailey.
love it.
Have you been to the store yet?
No, it's in Brooklyn. Brooklyn's not easy
Yeah.
to get to,
No,
Yeah.
we
We went to the pre-opening party or whatever, and it's such a beautiful store.
That's cool. I'm happy that they're killing it. My buddy John went and he loved it. So
and if you go two doors, like 2 or 3 doors down
Night
from
Owl Videos.
it's
there,
all
yeah.
VHS store. If there's anything that you need from like
Well,
old
they have
horror
everything. I mean,
movies,
they have like from 4K to beta,
that's
and
cool.
Laserdisc and everything. So yeah.
okay, must have missed that because I
Mhm.
felt like it was like really VHS heavy.
Well, the one side, but like when you walk in to the left was all new. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a cool store.
I need I wish Laserdisc.
Adam said the same
Dude.
thing. God, you guys are like
Yeah.
mind melding.
I
in
actually
here.
bought because we have a really great like retro weird store, and I just because it was like I think it was $5 or $10, I got House of Wax, the original, obviously,
Yeah.
Laserdisc, and I'm like, one day.
Listen, I had joked that I was kicking Adam out of the Horror Reader Weekend hotel room and taking Tasha and Bridget with me.
Yeah.
Oh, he needs a place to stay. So Robert, he's coming to your room and you guys can just have your
Although I'm scared, yeah,
laser disc party or
I'm a
whatever.
little scared with Laserdisc because I hear they like like they have a tendency to not work. Get
Are you
corrupted, so
avoiding the hotel stay? No,
I'll just
I'm
sleep
not
on the
actually
porch,
kicking you out.
I'll sleep on the porch with the cigarettes and the
Yeah, I know.
With me and Sam flicking our cigarettes off the
Exactly, yeah.
mountainside. Yeah. It's
Look,
very
it
dangerous.
is. You really never know what you're going to get into at events like this.
No, I mean, yeah, because I mean, I know Monique Asher, and we ended up with Alyssa in Cemetery on StokerCon, doing
1 in the
ghost
morning.
God.
hunting,
You
which
guys
was
got roped
amazing.
in for that? That's a
Oh yeah,
What a
I
mistake.
did. Rebecca was like, "I'm good."
I'm not doing that.
No.
Okay. Like, I was a nervous little sitting back here going, so one of us has to be able to bail these people out once the cops come up to say, why are you in this graveyard at 1 in the morning?
There was no fence. You just walked up and you were suddenly in a cemetery. It
I
was
was
crazy.
always the responsible kid, the responsible teenager. I don't know how to turn it off.
I usually am, but they're
Yes, that's what it is. You were usually just as conservative of like,
yeah. But you
risk
put
for things
ghosts
like
or
that.
some
But you
weird
were
shit
like,
into it, and I'm there.
that whole StokerCon thing, you were like, fuck it. You were
It
willing
was
to do
great.
anything. And like, I was like your babysitter, man.
Well, Robert was on the Asher's podcast talking about Amityville, which was an excellent episode on
Do you
State of
see
the
how
Night.
he's trying
So
to avoid
I'm not
how
avoiding anything. I'm just saying Robert's on my side when it comes to spooky things and
I'm not
ghosts.
even
So
saying that. I just said like I had to be your
oh
babysitter
come
because
on.
listen, there's our life before StokerCon. The first 20 years is the life after Stoker.
It's like Woodstock.
Yeah, I think you like genuinely came out of your shell in a way that I had never experienced in 20 years. That you were like, and I mean that. Like, I think this is a great thing to close out on. Of like, you're always a very nice person to everybody, but there's not a lot of people that you've enjoyed as friends or struggled to like. Everyone's always like, Adam's so nice. And I get that, but you don't let your guard down for a lot of people. And it was like being at StokerCon was like, these are my people.
Mhm.
You had the absolute time of your life. You just kept saying, like, this is the best moment of my like you just and I just think that there was this something that just shifted and changed being around all these creatives and all these people in the horror community. I was joking, or being kind of facetious, but no, honestly, I really think it did change your life and the trajectory of things that you want to do professionally and personally.
Well, I
And
think this podcast exists
it,
because of
yeah, is it like that for you, being that you've been like a Con award winning, twice, and like, is it transformational to you, Robert?
I do think that. Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah, God, can you imagine if I was like, "No, it doesn't mean anything to me, blah, blah, blah." Like, no, it means everything to me. It's like the ultimate, like, it's the ultimate pat on the back from the community. Like winning an award is lovely. Being nominated for an award is lovely. Like it's all a beautiful thing.
And
Getting
then, like, when you're there, does it feel like the best, like, hang out with friends and sleep over and stuff?
Horror Reader Weekend felt like that. StokerCon feels more like busy. Like like I feel
Okay.
more perhaps like I get to see a lot of people, which I love, but I'm always doing something. Like I'm always like this past year's, specifically in Stanford, I was on a lot of panels and stuff. And then like I was on the lookout for my mom to get there safely and my wife to get there safely because they were my dates for the banquet and stuff. Like,
Mm,
I was like really worried about them. You know what I mean? And then
mhm,
like, so that was my Saturday. And, so it just, I feel like StokerCon goes fast and it's sometimes a blur. And it's nice to see people that you don't see a lot. Cause I feel like,
mhm.
people will come from Canada, people will come from New Zealand, like Lee Murray will come from New Zealand. And the only time I get to see her is StokerCon, you know?
We just talked with
yeah.
her too, right?
Yeah, we just talked to her and Dave about their anthology that's coming out in a couple weeks.
Awesome. Yeah. She's
Yeah.
one of my heroes, honestly. Lee Murray is, and I love Dave as
God,
well.
how sweet.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Lee has been nothing but supportive and kind to me, and I was a fan of hers before I got to like meet her online or anything. And she has been just like a ray of sunshine, and she is just the loveliest, warmest person. I adore her. But yeah, so getting to see people like that you don't see. Linda Addison is another one.
Yeah.
She's like another one of my heroes. Getting to see her and getting a nice hug and seeing how beautiful she always looks. She always just looks so cool. You know. Um,
Mhm.
cool dress and like she just looks amazing. She's inspiring style wise to me. Stuff like that gets me excited. But like I'm really excited for StokerCon this year to be in Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh was where I won my first Stoker
Wow.
award. So like going back to that city means something to me. Like
Yeah.
you know, and getting to see everybody will be lovely. And I'm really rooting, for my friends. I'm always rooting for them to do well. But StokerCon is like the fastest thing ever. Like I was invited to that graveyard romp that you went on, sir, and
Yeah.
I was
But he thought
hired.
he was responsible.
I had had dinner with some folks that like beforehand, and I got back, and Alyssa and Mo came over and were asking me to go, and I was like, I'm very tired. I'm just, it's Friday night. I think it was Friday night that you guys
It
went.
was, yeah, Friday the
Yeah.
3rd.
Yeah, see, there you go. And I was like, no, I'm gonna pass, ladies. Sorry. But
See, we coulda hung out in a cemetery, but no.
I know the same
Listen,
cemetery Alyssa
we can
walked
go back
home in.
to the Sleepy Hollow Cemetery and hang out with Robert.
That
Yes.
is a fact. That is a fact. We should go to Sunnyside. That would be awesome.
Yes.
But
Yeah, because Adam hasn't been to Sunnyside yet, so you can take him around.
oh my God, I'll show you everything. It's the best. But yeah, so like Horror Reader Weekend feels more like a camp or like a sleepover party. I don't stay at the
Perfect.
hotel because I only live like 35 minutes from where it is.
Okay.
So I'll be at home in my comfy bed. But
Well, you'll have to bunk with him in his bed, Adam. Sorry.
but it's like, you know, that
Watch
feels
Interstellar
more
with his wife.
that feels more cozy and like sweet and intimate, like Horror Reader
Yeah.
Weekend. StokerCon is like once you arrive there, it's for me, it's usually sort of overwhelming.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, it took a couple days to recover.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I'm really looking forward to trying the Horror Reader Weekend.
Yeah.
Then, if you're saying it's cozy and fun like that, that's
Mhm.
awesome.
Oh my God, it's
So
the access that I've never seen an event where you have such access to like, and I'm talking like from my perspective to like Instagram, you know, people who do like Bookstagram and people who do podcasts and stuff like that, and like legitimate like readers, like
Mhm.
other unless they come to your event or something, you don't really get to chat with readers. And I want to know what they're reading. Like I don't care specifically if they're reading my stuff, like I want to know what they're reading. I want to hear about the stuff that they like that maybe is not the stuff that everybody and their mom is reading at that
mhm.
moment. So
Mhm.
like I believe Red Read Reviews is hosting. She did a wonderful last year. This was like probably my favorite panel I think I've ever been to, and it wasn't even a panel, it was just a chat. She hosted this amazing chat just talking about books, just talking about like how she approaches being a reviewer and a bookstagrammer and stuff like that. And there were other bookstagrammers there, and just getting to hear like them talk and everything just about like their process and what they really loved and what they were not particularly big fans of. Like that was really fun. And, as an author, I felt almost like I was like infiltrating their thing. But Clay was there, Sam was there. So I was like, well, if these two schmucks are here, I'm going to go too. But it was awesome. And I asked her at Spooktastic if she was going to be doing it again. And she said yes. So you have to go to that.
Awesome.
I love that. Yeah, our friend Bridget did the novella little talk. She did that one there last year. So
Mm.
I don't know if she's doing anything this year too, but no, that's awesome. If we weren't excited before, we're
I'm
triple
very
now.
excited now. It's like I feel like we've been going it was like June,
Mm.
then August, and then September. It's like every 6 to 8 weeks we're at a book thing. So it'll
Mhm.
be right perfectly on time for Horror Reader Weekend, and we can get our next like
A
shot
spooky
of
on. Yep,
bookish culture.
love
And
it. And then January's yeah, you go.
exactly, we just you got to keep your tank full.
Yeah, true. No, really.
So nobody can find you on Instagram because you're locked down and they can't follow you. Too bad.
You can request to follow me. And if you're a normal person and not one of my students, I'll approve it.
Robert's gonna be like, nobody even
Wait, why am I losing followers after
Oh my
being on
God.
this podcast?
I need them now more than ever. I'm about to pitch a big book. I need more people following me.
Well, yeah, tell us. So, okay, so find you on Instagram. Obviously, if you request, he will follow. Accept that. If you're not a weirdo, please don't be a weirdo. If you are, don't request to it. Be
at
friends.
least hide it until he accepts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And
There you
then,
go.
so what do you have coming soon? What can you talk about? What can't you? And you will anyway.
Yeah. My third my third YA book in my trilogy that started with the book that I won my first Stoker for that just came out. It's called The Navigator, and it's the
Mhm.
last in my YA horror trilogy that started with the Triangle. And I'm really proud of it. I was really hard writing a trilogy, but it was a lot of fun at the same time. And I'm very happy with how this ends. I hope people who've read the other ones, or if you haven't read the other ones, you could still read this one. I give a nice little refresher of things that happened in the previous two books.
That's
Previously
good. That's
on-
good.
It feels like the way I described it, and I'm a video game nerd also, the way it felt like changing the disc between Final Fantasy VII discs. So like take one disc out, put the next one in, and it gives you a little refresher like, hey man, when we blew up the city, that was crazy, huh? Like, but yeah, so
That's
just
so
came out.
helpful.
And then in March, I have a project with Monique Asher and Alyssa Alessi coming out.
I've read
The-
Monique's already. I loved it.
You read hers? Nice.
I
haven't
did.
even read it. She's a stinker. She needs to send it to me.
I haven't read it.
Oh my god. I
Now this is the moment of the breakup.
so I'm excited for that too. That's going to be with Sobila Books.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Mhm.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
Is that coming out with Sabello?
What's that? Yeah, with Sobilo Books. Yep.
Yeah, Chris is so cool.
Yeah, they're great. They're awesome over there, and I'm
And
really.
they just opened a bookstore too, right?
What's that? I'm sorry.
He just opened a bookstore too, right?
He did. Yeah, it's in. I know. I think he's in like West Virginia or something.
Yeah,
or
something like that.
Virginia? I can't
Road
remember.
trip.
But yeah, not Twisted. What is it called? Spineless Books, something like that. Spineless.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And it's got like an octopus logo or something. But it's very cool. I would like to go there, but I don't know when I'm going to be going down to West Virginia anytime soon. So I have
Yes.
no idea.
But yeah, the Triptych of Terror. What is it? 7?
98.
98. Yes.
Yeah, it's 3 stories that take place on the same night in July of 1998. And
Amazing.
we're really going for that sort of like the faculty vibes with our stories. They're not all science fiction-y. I don't think any of them really are science fiction-y, but we're definitely going for that kind of vibe. And I think we're going to have that kind of a cover as well. Yeah, so
I can't wait to read the rest because yeah, Monique is not playing around with this. Hers is really good to slasher too.
yeah, I'm excited. I wish I had the time. She asked if I wanted to read it, and I've been swamped with like blurb things and like this
The editing.
and the editing thing, and it's just like a lot. But I my story in there is called Schlocking, and it's based on a thing
Nice.
that my friends and I used to do back in high school, and which is terrible. With like, I feel so bad that we did this, but nevertheless, and it has what is one of the craziest, probably the most terrifying, weirdest monster I've ever created in it.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm excited for people to read it.
Now I'm like really
Yeah.
jazzed.
And from the creator of the Cobb Man, that is
I know. Like the way you teed that up, I was like, well, dang, okay. Because you already talked about how
yeah.
crazy the cop is. So, okay. I am so glad you came on the show, and please come back for when it would be great to have
all 3.
all 3 of them on. That would be like so much fun.
Yes, because we have had Mo and Alyssa already, so it would be just a
That would
reunion
be
here.
just delightful. Robert, since we know now, wait a minute. Robert's a planner, so we already do have him on in 2026, but I think it's like the fall,
Oh,
right?
Yes, we can't talk about what that's for yet.
I
but
have
yes.
no idea what that's for. Genuinely, it blanked out of my head. I just know that we're scheduled.
Yes, fall of 2026. I have something coming that I can't announce yet.
So he was like, "Can I come on a year from now?" And I was like, "Yeah, but do you want to like
do it
come on now too?" So okay, so we're gonna have to have like a cadence here. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like
Yeah.
every like 3-4 months.
Quarterly Ottone visits.
Yes, because we're having biannual with Donna Taylor.
I'll do whatever you want.
See?
I'm happy to do
Okay.
whatever.
All right. And you
Perfect.
guys are doing February together, so we'll just
Yep.
keep it
I
going.
have
And
to start
Yeah,
narrowing
dude,
down my American Gialli.
That's going to be I'm really excited for that one. Like, I've got a couple other like random ones planned out, but that one I'm really excited about because like Nick, like he and I have talked a lot about Jolly in the past. So I felt like he was, being able to talk about it with him is very exciting. But knowing that you're supercharged about it, I'm like, oh yeah. I think it might even just be the three of us. Usually I have 4 guests or 3 guests plus me, so 4. But I think I'll just keep it you, me, and Nick for that episode.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you're
Yes,
gonna
I
love
can't
him.
wait.
He's the best.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. You've been a joy. I now have a laugh that I will need you to record and aspire to listen to when I'm sad.
There
Well,
you go.
I'll do whatever I can for you.
I'll message you, Robert, please, I
Yeah.
need a giggle.
She's gonna say you'll have to be funny then. No.
Wow.
God.
And you'll do it because you are very funny. You'll
Man,
get
when
it.
you said he came out of his shell, you were not kidding.
I think he was aiming that towards me, Robert.
No. Okay.
My God, out of the pocket. Whoa.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I don't know what more to say, but
This was
anyway.
wonderful.
All right,
Thank
wait,
you.
I have
Oh,
one last question.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you going to get the flash tattoo up at Horror Reader Weekend?
No more tattoos for Mr.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, Adam, I'm convincing him to get his first.
Yeah, she's telling me I should get a forehead tattoo. I don't know how
I don't
that's
give a
gonna work.
shit where you get it. You're just getting one.
I don't know what do we know what the flash tattoo looks like?
Nope.
Is it flat? I don't know if it's like necessarily.
If you don't sign us up,
No, listen. I don't know if it's
I'm
like a set,
threatening you.
I don't know if it's as much of like a set list, like a flash tattoo thing, as much as it is he's gonna be there and
Great.
you can.
Hey, plan on it, and we're gonna hold hands, and
Mhm.
you're gonna get your very first tattoo.
Yeah, love it.
Love that. I have 3. They feel great.
Yeah, they do. They feel awesome. It's fine.
I mean, none of mine hurt, to be honest with you. Like I fell asleep getting one of mine. So
Yeah,
The hell, that was not my experience. Maybe it, depending where you get it too.
yeah, you got it on.
yeah,
like
where
your
are yours? Where's
clavicle shoulder
Yeah,
on
I-
each the shoulder,
yeah.
pretty much.
yeah. So,
All right.
okay. Well, we'll see you then. Thanks for coming on, and have an awesome rest of your night.
Yeah.
You as well. Thank you guys so much.
Yep. See ya.
Okay. Goodbye.